Learn to trade stocks successfully. Learn to profit consistently. I'm Ryan Mallory, and on my weekly podcast, I'm going to teach you the ins and outs of a complex, ever-changing stock market. You will learn to trade better, trade smarter, and profit bigger. Now, let's go trade.
Hey everybody, this is Ryan Mallory with Swing Trading the Stock Market, doing an episode today on trading under stress. Now, I always like to dive into a lot of the psychology of trading, right? And I'm no psychologist. I've never taken a psychologist, or I don't even know how to say it right. I've never taken a psychology class in college or in my master's or anything like that. So really, I have no experience. But I've read some really good books on trading psychology, books from people like Alexander Elder, who they just really have a good, solid understanding of some of the problems that come into your trading when you're not emotionally and psychologically in a good state of mind. So today I'm going to talk about trading under stress, and I like to relate it back to some of my own personal events, because remember, when I started learning how to trade back when I was 11 years old, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I had a father that was showing me, a basic knowledge of what he knew, but even that only took me so far. It took me, seeing the .com bubble in the late 90s as a teenager blow up and losing a lot of money there. And then, of course, just really learning the fundamental arts of trading, thereafter the .com bubble. And then just relaying it back to some of my own experiences, because I've not always done the right thing in my trading. And while I've come into my own over the last decade, it's not always been that way for me before that. So I always have a lot of good things to share. And as a full-time trader, I always have some tidbits to relay back to just even my everyday experiences, because I think it's still so relatable. Even though I do successfully trade the stock markets and I do a good job at it, I still think it's pretty important to relay some of the lessons learned along the way. So what are some of the most stressful circumstances to trade under? Well, I would probably say personal life events, whether it's a death in the family, or let's say you're a father or a mother and you're watching one of your kids go through a very difficult time. I don't wish this upon anybody, but let's say one of yours has cancer, or worse, like a sudden death in the family where you don't expect it. Should you really be trading under those circumstances? No, you gotta take time off. You gotta reflect, and you gotta get back on the horse first, just with life in general, before you go trying to conquer the stock market again. And I've pushed through a lot of these events in my life, and I can say that now I'm pretty good and systematic about my trading, where I can pretty much get through any difficult life circumstance and continue trading for the most part, because I've just done so well with it. But for most people, that's not the case. For most people, it will make some very, very bad decisions. And the thing is, for me, is that my trading has become so much more like walking and breathing for me over the years, that it's really not a difficult thing for me to continue to do correctly going forward. And because I've gone through enough life circumstances and situations, I kind of have an idea for how I'm likely to respond during those kinds of times and what I need to watch out for. But in general, if you're going through a very difficult life event, whether it's, kids being very sick, or you're going through a divorce. Let me tell you, I went through a divorce, and that's not an easy time. It was years ago and everything, but it was not a good trading year for me. I actually still beat the market, but believe it or not, finished positive on the year. And it was actually a very difficult trading year, so sometimes I maybe use that as a scapegoat, just the divorce itself. But overall, though, going through a divorce, that is not an easy thing either, because you're just constantly in the courtroom, or you're dealing with a lot of trauma, just emotionally, and wondering what life is going to be like after that. And that's not fun. You don't want that. So yeah, the personal life events, death, divorce, if you've been laid off from a job, I tell you, that's another one. Going through some financial turmoil, that can really mess you up, because all of a sudden you're trading out of need. And when you start trading out of need, you start taking bigger risks. Whether you realize it or not, you're going to start making some gambles that maybe aren't the best gambles to be making. You'll start trading into penny stocks hoping that you can make ends meet. Let me just say, if that's the case for you, go find a job. Find something to help you bridge the gap, at least so that you can have a little bit more of a stable mind. And hopefully you didn't get fired from your job because you were trading when you're supposed to be working. If you did, you should have read my book, because I actually wrote a book called The Part-Time Swing Trader. And actually it's called The Part-Time Trader, but it was about my swing trading. However, I talk about how I went from a part-time trader to a full-time trader, and how I was working in corporate America while also trading stocks. And one of the main things I talk about in there is don't get yourself fired from your job because of your trading habits. Make sure you're the best at your job, that you're not expendable at all, that they can't do without you. And then you focus on your trading, because if you're really good at what you do, they're not going to care if you're trading, because they need you more than you need them. So trading out of need is a big no-no. You don't want to be trading because you just lost your job and you're looking for a quick way to make a buck. Trading is a journey. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not a way to stick it to the man and say, I don't need this job, I'm going to make it on my own, even though I kind of did that back when I quit my job. And that was an interesting story. You know what? I'm not going to spoil all of it for you, because I'm writing a book right now called The Full-Time Trader. And I'm going to talk about how at the very end of my career in corporate America, where I went from that to working full-time for myself. And it's a pretty cool story. There's so many lessons learned and so many tidbits there. And I'm going to self-publish so I don't have the pain and suffering of doing it through a publisher. They're not very fun. They put these like really hard deadlines on you, and that's not fun. But I will be looking for an editor. So if anybody knows a person, or if you yourself would like to edit the book, that would be great. Because let's face it, editing our own stuff never turns out very good. So recapping here so far about trading under stress: personal life events, divorce. Like I said, I've been through that. It's difficult, okay? I've been so engrossed in my trading over the years that there's been times where I've made trades at funerals. I've made trades during my divorce in a courtroom. So there's been a lot of stressful circumstances that I've traded under. Now, it's actually made me somewhat of a better trader, but I don't recommend it for you guys. I know I'm kind of being a hypocrite here by saying don't do what I did, but seriously, don't do what I did. It's much easier to trade not under stressful circumstances. I'm a full-time trader, so I'm going to continue trading and everything, and I've become pretty comfortable in my trading over the years. I mean, I'm going on like 27 years as trading, investing in the stock market. So I kind of like to think that I've kind of come into my own over the years now. Sometimes too, people, they take on these additional financial responsibilities, right? They start to think, well, I need more money. I just got this huge mortgage, or I just bought this Range Rover, or I bought this Shelby Ford that I clearly should not have bought. And you start saying to yourself, how can I make more money? Maybe it's because you decided to buy a very expensive outdoor pool. Either way, if you're taking on financial responsibilities that are just insane, don't do that. Don't take on additional financial responsibilities and expect the stock market to bridge that gap there, because, again, it goes back to like you're trading out of need. When you do that, you're going to start taking gambles and making risks and calculations that are just not going to work out well for you. Trading is about consistently and steadily profiting from the stock market. It's not about making these big, huge home runs. It's about the singles and doubles that you hit and the walks that you take. It's not about hitting home runs. It's not about hitting grand slams, and not about hitting it out of the park with a specific trade. In the baseball world, you want to be hitting singles, doubles, getting walks, doing what you can to get on base. And that's where you will make for yourself a very steady and consistent career in the stock market. But when you start taking on additional financial responsibilities that you can't afford, or that you're going to depend on the stock market to provide for you, well, the stock market doesn't care about your needs. It doesn't care about your wants. And as a result, it's not going to provide you with those additional needs. But trading the stock market for additional financial responsibilities that you've taken on, that's like actually the one thing that so many people on the internet and on Twitter and on social media that they play on, that they want you to actually do, because they want you to need them for that. They want you to believe that if you subscribe to their newsletter, and don't get me wrong, I have a newsletter. I want people to subscribe to me, okay? Subscribe to me today. I want you to. However, I want it to be under the right reasons. I don't want you to subscribe to me because you think I'm going to make you a millionaire tomorrow, because I'm not. I'll never do that. I'm going to show you how I trade, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I trade and how you can learn from that and how you can become a better trader. And if you choose to follow the trades, that's fine. I'm not going to hold that against you. That's great if you do. But more importantly, I want to equip you to be a great trader. But you got these people, and I'm not going to name them because personally, I don't feel like starting a war with these people, but go on to Google and type in stock picks, or go to some of these social media websites and see who's advertising on these financial social media pages. And they're just a bunch of charlatans. They're going to tell you that you can get rich and you can be like me driving a Lamborghini surrounded by girls in bikinis. Does that rhyme? Lamborghini girls in bikinis? I think it does. That's kind of impressive. But listen, these people, they're out to just steal your money. They're not trying to give you really anything in return. They're not going to help you. They're not going to help you pay for those additional financial responsibilities that you've taken on. They're going to show you their mansions. They're going to show you their Lambos. They're going to show you the girls. They're going to be getting on and off of private jets. By now, you know some of the people I'm talking about here, okay? It's very obvious. The dudes that are getting on and off private jets, yeah, they're douchebags, okay? They're trying to take your money. They're not even trying to keep you as a subscriber. They know that you're going to figure it out pretty quickly. But what they do is they have things through different ad agencies, and they know that if they spend X amount of dollars every month, that they can get X amount of subscribers or Y amount of subscribers. So they can spend, $10,000 in ads, and they can get $15,000 in subscription revenue. Okay, I don't know. Let's just throw that number out there. I don't even advertise. I don't advertise anywhere. I get subscribers because I literally provide great information on my website. I teach people. They learn. They're going to become a better trader when they subscribe to what I do. Or even if you don't subscribe, you're going to learn a lot just from all the free articles that I have, the resources that I provide for free, the podcasts like this one that I do, the YouTube videos, the Twitter feed, the StockTwits feed, everything. There's just tons of stuff that you can learn from me. So I don't advertise. I don't have to advertise at all. And I get people all the time saying, hey, you can use our email list, or hey, you can advertise on this person's website and you'll get all sorts of new subscribers. I don't want to add that responsibility to my plate. I don't do Google ads. I don't have any Google ads. And every month I get requests to spend like $10 or something in ads, and they'll give me like $500 of free advertising revenue or whatever. And I don't even take them. Honestly, I don't have time for it. I truly have always subscribed to the idea that if I provide good and quality content and I'm honest and transparent, and I do that, I provide you guys with every trade I've ever made in the swing trading splash zone, that'll speak for itself, and it has over the years. That's why I've been doing this since 2007. That's 12 years. It's a pretty good track record. In the internet world, that's like an eternity. I mean, that's pretty old, 12 years. That's before there was iPhones. Finally, the last thing I would say, if you are going through some difficult times in life, you have a need that you weren't expecting. I have somebody subscribe and then unsubscribe saying, listen, I love your service, but I just found out my aunt's sick. I can't do it. I got to take some money out of my account. And I told him, I was like, look, you got to take care of that. That's your first priority, taking care of your family. And if you need to spend money on them, then by all means do that. But here's the thing, if the clouds in your life, they don't look like they're going to lift anytime soon, then target the days that are going to be okay for you to trade. If there's a week here that, okay, I can trade relatively stress-free. I'm pretty confident in my mental health at this moment. I'm not under too much stress, at the moment at least. And I can focus on the stock market enough. Okay, then that's fine. Okay. Target the days that are right for you. And in all things, I know a lot of people in the financial world, they don't talk about this. I'm a Christian. I was born and raised in a Christian home, and prayer has always been a big part of my life. So, and I encourage you to, if you're going through difficult times in life, pray. Prayer has been one of the biggest things in my life that has really helped me get through some difficult and dark times in my life. And, knowing that God cares and loves me. I mean, that's been a huge thing too. So beyond the trading, beyond trying to make money in the financial markets, pray, because that'll also help you weather some pretty difficult storms in life. And I know it has for me too. And I know some of you guys don't believe in God, and that's your prerogative, and I'm not ever going to force that on somebody. But look, this is my podcast. I try to be as open and honest with you guys as I possibly can. And that's what I want to do. I'll just open up to you guys and let you know that prayer works for me, and hopefully it can work for you as well if you're going through some difficult times in life. So that's going to do it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free. Email me, ryan@shareplanner.com. Become a follower if you're listening to me on the SoundCloud. I'm actually transferring to a new network. I'll still have it on SoundCloud, but my podcast will be hosted with the 1513 network. That's xvxii.com. So we're planning on launching that around the June time period. Stay strong in this market. I know it's a difficult one, but hang in there, and God bless.
Thanks for listening to this week's podcast of Swing Trading with Ryan Mallory. I'd like to encourage you to join me in the SharePlanner Splash Zone, where I navigate the financial markets every day with traders from around the world. With your membership, you'll get a 7-day trial, access to my trading room, and text and email alerts. So go ahead and sign up by going to shareplanner.com/splash zone. That's www.shareplanner.com/splash zone. And follow me at SharePlanner on Twitter and on SharePlanner's Facebook page, where I provide unique market and trading ideas every day. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, ryan@shareplanner.com, or call the office at 321-522-6733. All the best to you, and God bless. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, as well as check out some of these other cool videos that I've done. And if you want to swing trade with me each and every day, you can do so by going to www.shareplanner.com/splash zone. Thanks, and happy trading.